Welcome to the Rimm-PODCAST, episode 50, man. 50. Time flies. Please, guys, tune in. Today we got a really special guest. Before I introduce him, I want to there's a lot of myth out there regarding the chiro industry and difference between the conventional medicine and the holistic medicine. So we got a special doctor today who's not just the chiro, but he's a doctor as well. He does so much for community. He's probably one of the most outgoing person out there. I see him throughout the community, meeting with the judges, meeting with political leaders, meeting with the leaders of businesses, meeting with the chambers, you name it. And that special guest, I love that he introduced himself. And please tell us who you are, what do you do, and why you even decide to become a chiro.
Yeah, first, thank you so much for having me here, Igor, on the Rimm-PODCAST. And what a beautiful space here in the studios for Gizmo Productions USA. So yeah, very, very excited to be here. So a little bit about myself, Dr. Dave Tran. I'm a chiropractor, and I moved here with my wife back in 2018. And because we honeymooned here the year before, and we went to Disney World, and we just thought to ourselves, man, when we retire, we should move to Disney World, work there, and just, go out in a blaze of glory. So, but, a year later, we're like, we have to come here now. So we've been here, and we've been able to open up our own practice, Tran Chiropractic in Ocoee. And it's been going great. We've been able to help a lot of people, and it's been a wild ride so far.
Nice. And just because of the Disney, it's like this is now my home here.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, as you can tell, I'm from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, and my heritage is Vietnamese.
Nice.
So both my mom and my father are Vietnamese, and they came here immediately after the fall of Saigon in 1975.
Besides the myth here, I also want to know if there's a myth or not. They said the best chiropractors are people from Vietnam. Is that true?
I think so. I mean, if we poll all of my patients, I'm sure they're going to agree with you as well too. So, but I mean, the good thing is chiropractic has such a high success rate that I'm honored to be a chiropractor, but then also super happy to see amazing results with a lot of people.
Perfect. And I know a lot of times we see chiropractor when we get only personal injury because of the car, because an attorney sending out. That's what a lot of majority of the people. But I believe the chiropractor are important. Readjustment of the balance, spinal cord, neck, injury, lower back. How is it important when you're seeing throughout your life? Changing the patients who they are.
Right.
And how is it important, and how often should we see chiropractic?
Yeah, so the interesting thing about people's common stereotypes of what chiropractic is that a lot of times people think that chiropractors are bone doctors because we spend a lot of time on the spine. But the real reason why chiropractors get amazing results with patients is because we do focus in on the nerve system. So obviously there's the brain, the spinal cord, and it comes out all these different nerves to every single cell, organ, tissue of the body. So whenever a vertebrae, one of the bones in the spine, moves out of place, puts pressure on the nerve, and it creates a myriad of different issues. So for example, you had mentioned car accidents. The typical, pretty much 10 out of 10 times that I've seen patients come in with car accidents, they have different levels of whiplash. So you can have definitely a whiplash from even a car accident of 3 miles per hour. Of just a minor fender bender. So it's super important to see a chiropractor for that too. But in my practice, not everybody comes in and is similar to you and have an understanding that it's a very holistic type of practice where they have no pain whatsoever and they're just like, I'm here for my own wellness.
Let me meditate.
Exactly, right? But what we find is a lot of patients are typically brought into the office with either it's neck pain, back pain, or headaches. But to me, neck pain, back pain, headaches, those are slam dunks. I could probably, I've absolute confidence if someone comes into the office with that, then I can really help them. And obviously, there are going to be certain limitations to matter, whether it's going to be a truly pinched nerve or a disc issue or types of things where we would need to send for an MRI to get more analysis and then sending out to an orthopedic, neuro, or sort of like that. But the fair majority of the time that I can see that. But along with what you're saying, what people find when they're going to a chiropractor, that their neck pain, their headaches, their back pain goes away. But what people don't realize is that they're getting all these awesome positive things going on for their quality of life, whether it's going to be sleeping better, being able to have more energy, being able to walk and stand. There's all these activities of daily living that really affect who they are as a person. Where I had a dad come in and lots of back pain, and where he works really hard. He is an employee at Universal and is a manager, but then steps in to cook and works really hard and loves what he does. But then when he gets home, he's afraid to pick up his own kids. He's afraid to play with them because he's afraid to throw out his back. And of course, I can help him with his back pain, but what are we really doing? We're helping him become a better dad. We're helping him become a better father and to be a better husband and stuff like that. And those are the types of people, those are the types of patients that I love helping, is helping them become more of what they want to be.
Okay, so being a chiro, seeing the patients, and you mentioned couple things that are really important in who we are. The quality of the sleep. And during the night, when we sleep from 11 to 4 o'clock in the morning, we're releasing the hormone, melatonin.
Right.
So next day, either you're gonna be healthy, sleepy, or good. The second thing you said, the energy with the mitochondria.
Right.
So after what period of the time, when somebody have a problems with the neck or injury or the other than pain and the disc issues, like you said, which you have to send to the orthopedic, after what period of the time or time of the frame the patient starts to seeing a huge
some change?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously every patient is going to be a little bit different.
Yes.
There's some people that come in and it's a one-hit wonder. They come in and
they're expecting miracle.
Yeah, but a lot of times, we're able to help a lot of people with one visit.
Nice.
But sometimes it takes a little bit of time, and we do check in typically after 10 or 12 visits to see where they're at in regards to their. We use different types of assessment tools. And, that's not focused just only on pain, but it does ask them like how well they sleep. How many hours can they stand? More of a functional type of an assessment. But sometimes I feel like if a person is dedicated to their true health and wellness, and if they really want to see some great changes, go to a chiropractor for at least 2 to 3 times a week for 4 weeks, and maybe they'll start seeing results before then. But what I do know is that I can promise them they will have a completely different body or a higher body awareness after those 30 days. Just give me 30 days and we'll check back in. And it's incredible the different types of responses that I get during these re-exams when we check back with the patients, and it's all over the board. And that's what makes it exciting for me.
Nice.
It's really trying to figure out what the person's true pain is. It's not necessarily the neck pain, it's not necessarily the back or the headaches, but what's really stopping them from being of who they really are.
Nice. So now, I know you've been involved with a lot of traveling across the board, meeting another chiropractor. You're always advancing yourself, always doing a continuing education. I got one question, being a doctor for so many years, what is one of the greatest accomplishments that you have ever accomplished?
Yeah, so chiropractic has blessed me in a lot of different ways, and chiropractic has brought me all over the world. I had an opportunity to spend time in Africa, where I was in West Africa in Ghana and got to experience that culture where it is a cash-carrying society. There's no credit cards, and seeing the value that people have in chiropractic, but then be able to serve a lot of communities around the world that have zero access to any healthcare or zero access to chiropractic specifically. So I've adjusted patients in wheelchairs in El Salvador. Shortly after the massive earthquake in Haiti, one of the first 2 major ones, I was able to go across the border and be able to go to a lot of the Haitian villages where there's no access to any doctors. And all they hear is that American doctors are coming, where we have people walk 2, 3, 4 miles just for the chance to wait in line to
see you.
To see the American doctors coming.
Nice, nice. Good for you, Doc. So the biggest question I'm coming, because I was a pharmaceutical rep too, so I work with a lot of different doctors.
Right.
One of the biggest complaint and concern about the patients when they see the doctors. My questions is how is your practice different compared to anybody else, and how do you prioritize communication with the particular patients?
Yeah. So communication is key. And with all of our patients, we always have a consultation where one of my major questions I always ask people is, what is your pain keeping you from doing? And sometimes people are taken back by that. And because they're so focused in on their neck pain that they're almost blinded to everything else, or they're so focused in like, man, like I can't even think straight. You know, I mean, sometimes patients have a hard time even filling out the intake form because they're in so much pain. So for step one is just really kind of sitting knee to knee. This is what we do as well too, and really kind of understanding where they're at. And then we see them each time. I always check in with patients to see where they're at during their visits. And then it's like what I was mentioning before too. We have very specific times for re-exams where we check in with people. And what I find a lot of times is that I have to remind people and almost give them permission to sleep, to give them time to, take time for yourself over the weekend. Yes. Spend time with family. Yes. And or even the polar opposite. I want you to talk to nobody. I want you to sit there. I'm a big proponent of meditation or sometimes breathing exercises. If somebody feels that meditation is too religious or too kind of woo-woo, then mindfulness or breathing exercises. And I know there's a lot of busy moms out there that don't necessarily have the luxury of that, but what I suggest to them is like, hey, like if you have an opportunity to drop off your kids, but then you're in your car, and then obviously lock the doors and be in a safe position, but like give yourself, if you can't do 20 minutes, do 15. If you can't do 15 minutes, do 10 minutes. If you can't do 10 minutes, do 5 minutes of just closing your eyes and just breathing and just tuning back in and finding out where there's types of disconnects and so forth like that.
Another question, progress is great. What particular track or progress do you use to track your patients?
Yeah, so there is a functional analysis that we do during our re-exams, and we input that in. Patients will have a certain disability score, a certain percentage as well too, and each time we check back in, I can tell if they are maybe their pain. It's interesting talking about pain too, just because pain is super subjective. It's very relative to that person. So that's why we have to disassociate pain with people and see how they live their daily life. So maybe their pain is still high, but they're sleeping better.
Nice. Another question, which of your traits make you an outstanding chiropractor?
Outstanding chiropractor. So for me...
I know you said that earlier you are different than others. I wanted that you mentioned that.
I've seen a lot of patients. I've got my hands on probably over 25,000 spines all around the world, and chances are I've seen it before. There's very few times that someone comes in and I'm surprised, and I have such a passion and confidence in chiropractic that I know that if we move the bone and remove the interference, God will do the healing. And the body is made to heal. We just have to remove that type of interference. And I'm really, a lot of patients will, like I do have a lot of patients in West Orange County, but there's a lot of patients that drive an hour, 45 minutes just one way because I really do care about them. There's I had a patient that had come in and 5 chiropractors had passed up on her. Because of either a difficult type of an adjustment or her insurance wasn't covered. And I was like, I don't care what the condition is, I don't care what their financial ability to pay is, but I'm going to check that patient and see if there's any vertebral subluxations, any spinal fixations, and I'm going to adjust that patient. And got tremendous results with her. So at the end of the day, I want to get world-class results for people that are ready for that.
And that's how you're standing, be the best out there.
Yeah.
My another question is like and then we go to the same question, so you can say who you are, how should we keep our life healthy, become wealthy.
Yeah.
So how, as a patient walking in, there's a lot of myth about, and a lot of times if there's a particular chiropractor who are inexperienced, we just one little misalignment can pretty much screw you, can paralyze you. How should we be aware of that?
Yeah, so
what should we look for?
Yeah, so there is actually like a recent news article that was posted. I had a lot of patients that come in, they're like, oh, hey, this a woman in Savannah, Georgia, had this vertebral artery dissection, that could cause strokes and stuff like that. And what I tell a lot of patients is that a lot of times these types of articles will come up every 5 to 7 years. And it's very unfortunate what happened to the woman. But what I find in those types of situations is that, and I don't know if you know this or not, but then the number one issue that typically people have when that vertebral artery dissection or stroke happens is neck pain. So it's a thing that a lot of chiropractors will go through continuing education in regards to making sure that they see all the different red flags for that type of things as well too. So, making sure that a chiropractor is fully aware of those types of things. But typically a patient will be having those types of symptoms already before going into the office. So, every chiropractor must have malpractice insurance, and so the policy premiums are based upon a third party, right? Like the insurance companies will put it together. So I don't know if you know this, but for me, what would be your wild guess of what my malpractice premium would cost a year?
A couple of $100,000.
No, only $2,000.
Really?
Yeah. So on the scale of risk in regards to insurance companies,
nice.
So it's very
small. You are almost no risk to them.
Exactly. And I hate saying this analogy.
That's important.
Yeah, but more people are more likely to get struck by lightning or to get into a plane crash than get
be struck by a chiropractor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. My last question. Look it up in camera as a chiropractor. Tell us how should we stay healthy and wealthy, and give all of your information about yourself, where we can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't know if you've ever been to a chiropractor before, but I believe that everyone needs to have their spine checked at least once. The way that I see it is that if your spine was on your face, that you would take way better care of it. It's almost like instead of dental hygiene, where people go to the dentist once or twice a year to have their teeth checked, I like to always recommend people to have spinal hygiene. I know maybe some of the viewers out there may be a little bit younger, but once you hit that age of 40 or above, your complaint's a little bit different, when you're having to do that type of yard work. But what I do know is pain is common, but suffering is a choice. So if you're looking to find different ways to not only improve your pain, but just really increase your overall quality of life, definitely come reach out to me. I would be happy to see you at Tran Chiropractic in Ocoee. You can visit tranchiro.com and schedule an appointment there as well too. But there's so many great chiropractors in the area, and just do yourself a favor. Go see a chiropractor, get amazing results, and then bring in your friends and family as well.
And as more, feel the better. If you feel the better, you got more energy. If you got more energy, you better to your friends, to yourself, to your friends, to your family, and to everybody.
Oh yeah,
out
for
there.
sure too. And what's happening? Like for me, I feel like people start becoming more grateful for the world. That opens up their heart for more kind and loveness, and who knows, that it gives people inspiration to do things for the world, and then to make it a better place.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. This was our special episode, episode 50. Your special host, Iggy, our special one and the only Dr. Tran from the Tran Chiropractic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. We appreciate you coming and sharing all of your insights and knowledge and expertise. We'll leave all of the information at the end of the show, and we'll have all of the information so we'll tag you so other people. Please keep share, and we love you. Thank you.